What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. If you choose to donate to this channel before I get into the video at hand, if you choose to donate to Too Raw, I will put a link in the description box to the apparatus in case you want to donate to the channel. Now, let me talk about the game from last night, playing catch up. I talked about the Bucks early this morning before I went to work. Didn't really talk about Boston. Was pissed off with what they did as far as handling that fan with kid gloves for what he said to DeMarcus Cousins. So Ticket took the lead on that one, and I wholeheartedly agree with him. So I pretty much blackballed the Boston Celtics from my channel, but now I don't have to worry about it anymore because they're eliminated. But the marquee series is obviously the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors. I expected the Golden State Warriors to either blow out Houston or win by a comfortable margin. I think had Kevin Durant not got injured in the third quarter, that might have come to fruition. From what I understand, he suffered a strained calf, although I did see that Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley were speculating they think it might be a more serious injury. Shaq was saying it looked similar to the way that Kevin Durant grabbed his ankle or area near his ankle. He said it looked similar to the injury that he suffered that ended his career. Of course, when he suffered that injury, Shaq was 30, what, 8, 39? I think he was 39. So, 38 or 39. So, Shaq was obviously much older. But the final score of this game was 104-99. So Golden State takes a 3-2 lead in the best of 7 series. So Golden State is 1 game away from advancing to the Western Conference Finals for what would be the 5th consecutive year? Well, you have 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19. So there'll be 5 consecutive years of advancing to the Western Conference Finals if they're able to win one more game in this series. Houston pretty much could not overcome that big second quarter that the Golden State Warriors had. And Klay Thompson finally got it going offensively in this game. He had been kind of pretty much cold throughout this series. Some of that was him playing defense. Some of it is just missing shots. For the game, the Golden State Warriors were 13 of 37 from beyond the arc, 35%. Houston Rockets 12 of 41 from three-point shooting, 29%. So they beat Houston at their own game, which was 3-point shooting as far as percentage is concerned and amount makes. Golden State shot 46% from the floor. Houston only 42%. The rebounding was even at 50 apiece, and turnover battle was pretty even. Fast break points, Golden State had the edge, 18-11, and Houston shot a few more free throws and shot at a better clip than Golden State. So, having said that, just looking at some numbers. PJ Tucker had another big game for the Houston Rockets, 13 points and 10 rebounds. The last 2 games, I think PJ Tucker is averaging 15 points and 10 rebounds. So he's been having a very successful series overall. Chris Paul was a no-show. 11 points, 3 of 14 shooting, 0 for 6 from three-point range. James Harden, 31 points, 10 of 16 shooting from the floor, but he was only 3 of 9 from three-point range. And he was 8 of 10 from the foul line, though he did go cold down the stretch of this game. Eric Gordon had 19 points, but was not his sharp shooting self that he had been the last couple of games. Only 3 of 10 from 3-point range and 5 of 14 overall. But Chris Paul especially was a no-show. Clint Capella only 3 of 10 from the floor, although he did have 14 rebounds. For the Golden State Warriors, Draymond Green had nearly had a triple-double, 8 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists. Kevin Durant, before he went down with his injury, had 22 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, was 8 of 18 from the floor. Steph Curry was 9 of 23 from the floor overall, but only 3 of 11 from 3-point range. He has struggled from 3-point range throughout this series. And Klay Thompson really caught fire in this game, in particular in that second quarter. Klay Thompson had 27 points, which was a team high, as well as 11 of 20 from the floor and 5 of 10 from 3-point range. So, pretty much what happened was Golden State had that big second quarter, and Houston was not able to overcome that huge run. What was it, 17-0 run that Golden State went on in that second quarter? That pretty much sealed the deal for them. And I think I said something like this in a video. Maybe I was talking to someone. Like, a lot of times how Golden State win a lot of their games is they'll have these little mini runs. Just because they're such a good outside shooting team, as well as generally speaking, they've been a good defensive team, though sometimes they wax and wane at the level of intensity and the level of defense they play at. But generally speaking, they're shooting. Sometimes they'll have these runs, like a 12-2 run, a 15-5 run, or if they really get it going, a 20-3 run. And all of a sudden, what was maybe a Golden State deficit of 4 points turns into a 13-point Warrior lead. Then they might have another run like that later on in the game. And that's how they sometimes win a lot of their games. They just go on these unbelievable runs. And but the big question mark is Kevin Durant. All right, will he be available for Game 6 of this series? The bigger question will he be available for Game 7? We don't know. I really hope that it's not what some people were suspecting with the injury. And, that would just be absolutely devastating to the Golden State Warriors. If this was a more significant injury than what they are saying right now. But if that is the case, if they aren't able to play, if they aren't able to play Kevin Durant for the rest of this series, then the Splash Brothers have to step up. You know, they have to step up. So this team is deep, and this is one of those situations where their depth at the starting lineup, helps them. So we'll see, man. I think Houston, if Kevin Durant doesn't play in Game 6, there's no reason for Houston to lose that game. If Houston lose Game 6 with Kevin Durant not playing for the Warriors, then I don't want to hear shit ever again about this Houston Rocket team. In fact, blow this fucking team up. Don't want to hear no more about it. I don't want to hear shit about this this Houston Rocket team if they can't beat this team without Kevin Durant. And I see some people saying, well, wait a minute, remember, this team won 73 games without Kevin Durant. That's not exactly true. The roster isn't exactly the same, okay? That team that won 73 games, not only did they have Klay Thompson, okay, not only did they have Steph Curry have statistically his best season of his career, okay? His best season, 30 points, like 5 rebounds, 6 or 7 assists, I think he was like amongst the leaders in steals that year. Okay, he shot the ball at a clip that we had never seen before. That season, he shot the ball so well. I'd never seen like that before in my life. That consistently. I've seen Ray Allen go off. I've seen Reggie Miller go off. I've seen Glenn Rice, the guy who I thought was the best shooter I ever saw as far as 3-point shooting. Steph Curry did it more consistently and more from a deeper range than I had never ever seen from anybody else. All right, but the thing about that team, that bench was so great, and you got to remember, Andre Iguodala and Sean Livingston were younger and were closer to their primes back then. That team was unbelievable. This isn't exactly the same team. They don't have quite the same depth. Their bench isn't as talented, and you got to remember Harrison Barnes, Andre, what was it, Barboza. A lot of those guys could have been starters on other teams. Okay, so it's not exactly the same thing as that 73 win team. So that's it. That's all I gotta say about this game, man. Tell me what you guys think.